Literally, fuck off.
Yo! Song's so good. Song is so good. Yeah, we're watching Survivor. I just don't think it's a good way of advertising the stream. I don't think it brings in many viewers. But we'll be doing all the other things too. Who is this, Marina? Yes. Great song. I was going to play Cyndi Lauper because I'm seeing Cyndi Lauper on, not Monday, 2 days from now. The 1st. And so, maybe we'll start another stream like that. Maybe 2 days from now. But how are you? I love New York. Probably not today. Probably not. It's going to be a pretty long stream because Survivor's 90 minutes, so it'll be just a tight 2 hours. Your lighting is washing you out. Did I ask for your input? Is that a little better or is that worse? Better or worse? What do we think? What about Love is Blind reunion at 9 p.m.? I will say, Wednesdays are Armageddon on for reality TV fans. Crazy. Love the Patreon podcast, by the way. Oh, I'm still heated about it. Fuming. Jacob's like, you called, I forget if it was you who called her a bitch. I'm like, what? I feel like advertising as a Survivor watch stream would bring in more people. No. We've run this experiment before. I think the Survivor watch parties do horrendously bad. But we can maybe try it next week. It is very funny. On my tier list of things to watch on Wednesday, I think the challenge is number 1 at this point, but I promise, I'm not going to make you guys sit through that. These costume clues are not helping. Here's what I'll say. People have correctly guessed it. That's all I'll say. There's a sizable amount of people, or not sizable, a few people, who have correctly guessed it. You're competing with Taryn doing Survivor. You know, look, I could take the morning Survivor watch party shift, but that's not as lucrative. But anyways, let's dive into it because not too much time before Survivor starts. First thing I want to talk about is an article that came out a couple days ago, so it's not totally brand new news, but I do think it's interesting. So, Big Brother producers say that the 3 nominee twist is very likely to return next season. Very likely. I'm like, okay. It's kind of what we expected, but interesting they would come out with the news. I don't know why it's so, like, distorted. Let me fit to screen. That didn't work either. Doesn't really matter. But anyways, let's dive into this article because I think a lot of people saw the headline and didn't actually read what they were saying, which is kind of funny what they were saying. So the recently completed season 26 was truly unique. Okay, that's good. 24-hour, blah, blah. For the producers, not having to put social media fires out along the way was a welcome change of pace. When we're able to just focus on the show and the creative of the show and all of those things, it really is much more fun than dealing with all the outside stuff. This is what Rich Meehan tells. Very nice guy, Rich Meehan.
Literally, fuck off.
Now, allow me to be the cynic in the audience, as I often are. Or often am, rather. This is not good for the live feeders. This quote is a little bit doomer to me. Am I the only one reading it this negative way? Thank you, Anonymous, for gifting Popsicus and JPR for the gift. I appreciate you. when we're just able to focus on the show and the creative of the show and all those things, it really is much more fun. Because I think, as a lot of people have imagined, are there certain things that may have potentially been said on the live feeds that would spur on social media fires, articles, and whatnot? What do you guys think? I know I've been cagey with it, but do you guys have any thoughts on the matter? So what I think this all means is the censoring of the live feeds. Here's I guess my frustration. And I understand the Big Brother community is a very negative community, and I'm essentially campaigning for them to be more negative. But the energy we brought when they removed the live feed rewind feature, the energy we brought when they consistently cut the feeds away from problematic behavior, has been lost in the fray of I love season 26, what an unproblematic cast, it's so refreshing to never have any controversies. And yet nobody has been able to connect these two dots. This dot being hiding problematic behavior, and this dot being there's no problematic behavior. So, all I'll say on the matter is we are very critical every moment they remove something we like. And then when it has the expected outcome, we say, yay, CBS, good job. Because the expected outcome was not the removal of problematic behavior, it was the hiding of problematic behavior. And that's been a success, a resounding success, which is why BB26, the most edited season as the live feeds, the most delayed, the most cutty, the most choppy, is the least problematic season we've had in years. Now, we know the cast. I would be shocked if this is one of the more problematic seasons. Seems like a very good group of people. I don't have any real criticism against any of them. But let's be real. Like, I think we can't lose sight of that reality. Thank you, Will, for the Prime. I appreciate you. Every time something possibly problematic could have been said, cut to fish. Exactly. You know what internet show you can go to get the full, uncensored live feed? Without any of the woke producers? This is where it turns into a paid sponsorship. So, anyways, Grodner says, it was lovely. It was really nice, and overall the reception from our usually very critical fan base was really positive, so it was a nice summer. Yeah. It was a nice summer. I don't want all my negativity to take away from what was a good season. It was a good season. I didn't love it, but most people did, and that's what matters more. A big part of the positive reception had to do with the biggest format change in the franchise history. I don't think that's true, but sure.
Literally, fuck off.
I feel like Battle of the Block was a bigger difference. Thank you, Sydney, for the 10 months. I appreciate you. The sub bleed is real, so we're doing what we can. Instead of just 2 nominees being put on the block by the HOH, 3 were nominated. Yes, the arena. Everyone knows what it did. The veto being used 11 weeks in a row. I think that's a bit of a... Like, when you have 3 people on the block every week, that will cause the veto to be used more often because there's more nominees to win the veto and take themselves off, and that's just how that works, especially with House Guest Choice. All 3... Yeah, that's just how it works. So I guess it is, a result of the AI arena. My hot take is BB24 is a better season than 26. I didn't like 24, but I could see it. So here's, I guess, the main premise. The question that we have to ask, and I'm gonna run a poll for it because I'm actually curious. I don't want to influence the voting too much. I'm just gonna say, should they bring back the AI arena? And I know there's a lot of caveats of how long should it last, all that. But I'm just curious. Baseline question, yes or no, what do you guys think? Should they bring back the AI arena? The truth is, most people love the season because Tucker was being iconic for 6 weeks. I think the best parts of the season had very little to do with Tucker. But I do think Tucker added a lot to the social dynamics in those first 6 weeks. It kind of led to the split house. But I think the most interesting parts of the season was the Pentagon versus T-Core and Chemo, and then basically all of the post-jury phase just watching Chelsea cook. But that was I don't think I'm representative of the greater sample. And look, I do think watching Tucker's downfall was probably my favorite moment of the feeds. Watching, him get blindsided there. I thought that was peak. So 61% of voters said yes, they should bring back the AI arena, and I agree. I think it's important for the format. I think there is a problem with backdoors. Not from a gameplay perspective. From a gameplay perspective, I think backdoors are very interesting. But I think from a TV perspective, Rune Queen... Oh my god. Thank you. Let me finish this point, then I'll thank you. From the TV perspective, there was a big problem on Big Brother 25, and it's popped up for seasons and seasons, where the veto episode, the entirety of the drama is the veto draw. And if the veto draw works out in an interesting way, okay, that person has a 1 in 6 chance of winning. Otherwise, we're watching a veto competition that is happening for virtually no reason. Right? So, that is it damages the show. And it's also very anticlimactic. I'm watching Big Brother 7 right now where James Ryan is talking about how unhonorable or dishonorable it is to backdoor somebody. And I disagree with that sentiment. Heisem was saying that on our season. But it is very boring to watch.
Literally,
right?
fuck off.
So the AI arena certainly disincentivizes the backdoor because the AI arena is there. So I think that is reasonable. And also, backdooring still exists. It's just much less likely because of the veto draw. Anyways, thank you, Rune Queen, for the 5 gifted. I appreciate it. Thanks, Rune. You're the best. Fighting the good fight. Okay. Now, let's go back to a very old tweet of mine. See if I can find it.
Literally, fuck off.
It's going to take me a minute, actually. Anita, thank you for the 8 months. My concern is having 3 nominees makes it so much harder to have a successful HOH. Hold that thought, because I want to talk about that, because that is interesting. Almost there, almost there, almost there, almost there, almost there. Almost there, almost there, almost there. Okay, here it is. Here it is. So I said, and this is as the twist was announced before we saw it play out. So AI Arena basically cripples backdoors. I fucking hate that. Heisem would have comped out from the final 14. Basically, everyone is incentivized to target the weaker competitors now, which is the exact wrong lesson to take away from 25. This is such a clear case of being hyper-fixated on one problem that you ignore that catastrophic impact on your solution the rest of the game. Final tweet, the problem with BB25 is not unanimous votes, it was inequitable competitions. To fix the fake problem, they're making the real problem worse. Okay. Now, let's talk about the actual impact of the AI Arena. 1, it decreased the amount of unanimous votes. There was not a unanimous vote until very deep into the game. I think it was the Leah boot was the first time we had a unanimous vote. So check. That happened. Now we have to kind of parse through, is it a result of the AI Arena? Is it a result of the players and the season specifically? But anyways, we added this thing. The correlation was less unanimous votes. The key with the AI Arenas was, for the most part, they were relatively equitable. Of the AI Arenas, there was the weird one with, how many times did each face pop up, which was totally equitable. There was the carnival game where you're trying to catch all the balls that Tucker dominated, which maybe not equitable, but it's kind of hard to determine who would have the best advantage. It does seem like it came down to strategy. There was the big puzzle that Tucker, won and said, I like puzzles, which, again, the puzzle pieces just seemed a little bit too big. There was the other big puzzle that Tucker lost, which, again, pieces seemed a little bit big for Angela to move around. There was the ball veto, or the ball thing that Rubina barely beat MJ on, or MJ barely beat Rubina on. The comps were pretty good. So that is one massive sigh of relief. As long as the AI Arena competitions remain relatively fair, not too bad. They don't have the same damaging impact that we all expected them to have. Now, on my criticism of it'll incentivize people to target the weaker competitors, I do believe that is still going to be the ultimate result of this twist if it keeps going on and on and on and on. Right? Imagine if Derek played in a season with AI Arena. It would be just get the big group and every time put the 3 weakest competitors in AI Arena and just keep cycling through. That's how it's going to work out. That's how it happens. Obviously, I think the biggest problem with the AI Arena is it insulates comp beasts a little bit too much. Tucker should have been gone week 3. Instead, he almost makes it to jury, and if he wins that AI Arena, who's to say he's not winning the game? Probably doesn't, but he's got a lot of allies. He's got a lot of competitions that he can guaranteed play in. But that does not mean AI Arena is a terrible twist. The solution is something we've all discussed. It should just end earlier. If the AI Arena ends at the final 12, so it's there for the week 1, final 16, final 15, final 14, final 13, final 12. It's 5 weeks, all pre-jury. 5 weeks. Then it starts at the final 11, back to normal Big Brother. All of a sudden, you could still backdoor a Tucker at the final 11, 10, or 9 somewhat reasonably. When you finish the AI Arena at the final 10, all of a sudden that final 9 backdoor spot is kind of dicey because there's a good chance that person's going to play in the veto anyways just by luck of the draw. Final 8 and 7, a backdoor is almost objectively the wrong decision, unless you're in such a dominant position. So, the AI Arena is a good twist. It makes the early game a little bit more interesting. It makes the live show a little bit more dynamic. But it should end at the final 12. After that final 12 round, the AI Arena should be gone. Another thing that was touched on in the article, with the new AI Arena competition leading to last-minute pleading and scrambling, there was definitely more juice and intrigue to what had become a generally unsurprising Thursday night affair, which is always a no-no for a show whose motto is expect the unexpected. I feel this. The Thursday shows suck. They've always sucked. But the Thursday show with the anticipation of a live HOH competition is probably the most exciting thing that can happen on Big Brother. More exciting than the AI Arena to me. When you're sitting there watching who's going to be HOH for the next whole week that you have to watch, it determines if your faves are safe, if they're in danger, if they're winning a competition. It's incredibly fun, and AI Arena inherently removes that from the show. Was there a single live HOH on Baby 26? They had some endurance comps, but even those started later. They didn't start during the show, did they? It's not like your season had those either. We had a few. Cameron's HOH Week 6 was live. Bowie's HOH was live. Obviously, we had our 2 double evictions, which don't really count. But then we had the Final 4 HOH, which I believe was live. Candy Stack started. That's true. They started the wall live. Did they? I don't think they started the wall live. No. They did not. We went to the feeds and waited for the wall to go on. There's nothing more frustrating than watching a quiz not live. It's so lame. Watching a quiz in a recorded Sunday episode. So, I think an easy solution is, for the first 5 weeks, no live HOH. The second AI Arena is gone, start giving us live HOHs. Now, I think the most frustrating part about this article to me, and it's something they discussed about very specifically. I'm trying to find it. So the premise of they need a competition every episode, because that is ultimately why the AI arena exists. It's why the hacker twist existed. It's why the roadkill competition existed. It's why Path to Power was added in. Big Brother 25 was one of the only seasons in a while, same with 24, that didn't have a third competition. Now, what they often do as a result of that is they take away the live HOH from Thursday, put that on Sunday, and then the Thursday episode is borderline unwatchable. So to fix that, they move the veto meeting from Wednesday to Thursday to give that more suspense, but that makes the Wednesday episode super anticlimactic. It's so simple. The solution to all of this is so beyond simple. The Sunday episode should not have a competition, and it should be all the wacky shit that happened on the feeds. Because Big Brother live feeds are very boring. Anyone who watches them all the time knows that. But if you collect the best segments, you can get a really fun episode. Now, there is a problem with that. There's something kind of inherently fucky with the schedule, and that's a scientific term, where the Sunday episode can only take content from like Thursday night to Friday at like 3 p.m. You've like 16 hours of content you can draw from, because they don't want to have any clips from after nominations or from the week before, right? When they aired the tortilla fight a month later, literally. That is an inherent problem with the format. Now, this might be radical. This might be a little bit insane. What if we change the schedule a little bit? What if we change the actual schedule? HOH competition Thursday. You need to have it there. How about you make nominations on Saturday, veto on like Monday? No, let's do nominations Saturday, veto Sunday. I think the premise that nominations are like 16 hours the previous eviction is so stupid. It's so dumb. The most exhilarating part for me of watching the feeds is those post-HOH nomination conversations. And part of that fun is because there's such a short amount of time, but once the veto competition is played, very often the week is done. So by making that veto Saturday, it kind of leaves a lot of empty air for the rest of the week. It would make editing more honest. It wouldn't just make editing more honest. It would make editing more interesting, more fun to watch, because you'd have more like actual, time to edit from. You have 2 days instead of 1 day. You're gonna find better content. They should permanently move comps out of the backyard. Yes, but I think that's honestly less of a problem for viewers, from the viewer's perspective, and more just sucky for the players. But they've already kind of began fixing that this season. Do we know if they staff differently on the weekends, or does production just expect to work weekends as if they are weekdays? As far as I understand, Big Brother is a very unconventional job. Like, I don't think there's very many people who clock in Monday to Friday and then have the weekends off. So they'd have to fix their schedules and change them up, because there's the comp teams and that kind of thing. But I don't think that's influenced by, the weekdays versus the weekends. You make the show less watchable with your takes just saying. Ben, I want you to explain. I want you to explain to me what you disagree with. I'm genuinely curious. Yeah, it's the exact opposite of less watchable. Like, I think they did a good job with the show this season, but I'll take better feeds over a bad show. We could have both. If there's good, here's I think the big dilemma. If the feeds are bad, you still try to make the show as good as possible. But if the feeds are good, there's no excuse for the show to be bad. That was the dilemma with BB25. That was what made it really bad. just disagree with a lot of what you're saying. Your specificity leaves something to be desired, frankly. So in my perspective is push nominations until Saturday. So competition's Thursday. All of Friday is noms, noms, noms. Saturday there actually is nominations. Make it like Saturday morning, kind of like you would do for like a veto competition. And then the actual veto comp is Sunday. Just shifting one day. I think it would make the Saturday episode or the Sunday episode a lot better, especially without having a competition. You can edit all the character pieces. Because I think on BB25 and honestly BB26 as well, there's so many players that just get horribly boring edits. And it's not like anyone is inherently deserving of an interesting edit, but it makes the show a lot less watchable. T-Core was probably one of the biggest presences this season. Maybe not through her, massive, larger-than-life personality, but she had a really important role in the house, and she was not a presence on the show at all. On my season, Mimi had no role. Bowie had no role. And you could maybe argue, maybe there's a reason why they have a lesser role. But when Bowie wins HOH, or Mimi is the target this week, if the audience had any investment in these people, they'd actually have fans, during the season who'd be rooting for them, or sad they're getting evicted, or rooting for them to get evicted. Instead of becoming a binary, are you team Jag, or are you team Cameron, are you team Cory in America, So that's what the Sunday episode should be used for. Fleshing out the lesser-known characters, giving more people character moments. Big Brother 7 does it so, so well. Veto meeting still Monday or moved to Tuesday? I don't know. Monday night, Tuesday morning. Either one's fine with me. You want to give enough time for the people to try to talk about the veto, but also enough time, after the fact to talk about the vote. And then the last thing they have to change is the live show. There's no reason we should see every single person walk into the voting confessional. It's just boring. The AI Arena spices it up, but once AI Arena ends, it really has no purpose to it. Survivor in 5 minutes? I know. That's all I have to say about that. I'm going to pull up Survivor. We'll start watching, and then in commercials, we'll do the AFP tier list. T-Core had no personality? I don't think that's true at all. I think she's just a pretty chill person. Nah, BB7 is a totally different game. It feels like you're watching a whole different show. Okay. T-Core was just an introvert. I think it's less about, was T-Core the most dynamic personality that could have killed it in the DR? Maybe not. And maybe she was never going to be like Brittany Haynes. But I think the audience had a right to know T-Core better. So when T-Core's downfall happened, probably one of the most pivotal moments in the season, they would care. You know what I mean? Instead of just being like, oh. Bring back giving liquor to them. Honestly, giving them more alcohol is probably a good call, but let's see if we could knock out one or two of these names here. So this is a Big Brother AFP tier list. The way that I'm going to be doing this tier list, the medium, or I guess the method to this madness, is how good of an AFP were you for that season? Trying to remember where I was watching that season. If I was too young, we'll talk about it differently. Not just how good of a player you are, how much do I like you as a player. I don't know. I think through discussing it, you'll get a better idea. So, we start with Janelle on Big Brother 7. This is the most clear S tier of all time. The most clear S tier of all time. Which seasons have the best rewatch potential? Big Brother 7's awesome. 10's awesome. 17's really fun. Honestly, the older seasons have better rewatch. The episodes are just better and more structured. Janelle on Big Brother 7 was everyone was demonizing her in the house, and outside of the house, everyone was rooting for her, and she made a great run and was a robbed goddess at the final 3. Perfect AFP. Perfect AFP. Crazy James. Honestly, I think Crazy James, I don't know, did he do some fucked up shit in Big Brother 14? Or Big Brother 14, Big Brother 9? Because I know I was rooting for Crazy James at the time. I was very young, though. Came back in Pandora's box and a little present. I think he was a pretty good AFP. I don't have faith that he didn't do bad things, but I think he is a B tier. Top 3 in BB25 was Surrey, Matt, and Cameron. I assume it was Cameron and Surrey, top 2 by quite a distance. Big Brother 10, I think Keisha's S. She's the exact type of person who I don't think could win AFP these days. I just don't think the edit does people like Keisha justice anymore. But Keisha's... It's unbelievable that Keisha won AFP. When I think back to Big Brother 10, it boggles my mind. But very exciting stuff. Very exciting. Jeff in BB 11. I think he's C. I think he's C. And he, in terms of like how much do I like Jeff Schroeder, it's definitely a D. But on that season, I think he's a C. Look, I think the people in D are gonna earn D. Because I'll just skip to this. Jeff Schroeder BB 13 is D. You can't give it to him twice. You can't. Look, I think there's a distinction between how I felt Jeff winning in BB 11 versus BB 13. He was a production fave like Cam. Yeah. No, trust. Look, I get it. I'm an informed viewer. But I think there's a distinction here. In the same way, I'm not putting Tucker D. Brittany Haynes, S tier. Easiest decision of my life. Come on. On this season, there's a lot of options, but Brittany Haynes is Brittany Haynes. What are we doing? Frank Udy. I mean, it's C or D, right? I'll say D. He was just really unlikable. I mean, I was rooting for Dan the whole time. I was singularly rooting for Dan. But I didn't find him likable even as an underdog. Jeff, at least he had the Jeff and Jordan thing, which is kind of fun. I think Alyssa's like here too. Like, Alyssa was fun, and there's like on BB15, she was probably one of the most likable. But I am biased against people who win AFP with an advantage. Survivor's on. Everyone, tune in, lock in. All right, everyone, can you give me your winner picks in the chat right now? Survivor. Who's your prediction for banishment tonight? I worry for Saul. I can't see Sam winning. His edit's too big. He just feels like such an obvious decoy. I don't see Genevieve either. I think Teeny's a possibility. I could see Teeny. Kyle, I think, is low-key. Is it a double boot tonight? But I'm feeling for Saul. I think he's my pick right now. Did you watch all the episodes in the past week? Kind of. They were in the background. I wasn't super locked in. What are the feelers on Gabe right now? Does Gabe have a shot? I feel like he's fun to watch. Dream returnee for Survivor 50 other than my brother? Yeah. Yeah, this is so dumb from Saul. I feel like Gabe's a zero out finalist. I feel like Gabe's the type of player where how the hell does he make it to the end? I know the Edgic people think it's Sue. Ooh. Saul threw Sam under the bus. I like it. I love when someone says, "Who told you this?" and they give a real answer. You have to be willing to throw someone under the bus. Do you all believe in the Andy redemption winners edit, though? The way he talks is so weird. It's so odd. Andy feels like a zero vote finalist. I see it. That was my prediction from the start, but I do think Saul's cooked though. Looks like this is gonna be a dicey episode for my boy Sam though. And I love Sam, guys. Sam is my goat. We talk whenever we talk, we just talk about the challenge mostly. He's a big challenge guy. Have you caught up at all? Or is this first episode in weeks? I watched last episode. I basically missed like from the Asia boot to last episode. I missed those in the middle. Obviously, I know the gist of it and who is getting voted off and stuff like that. Has the AFP tier list happened? It's happening every commercial. So we're like 5 or 6 people in. Still pissed about Asia. It's hard. I mean, I think the way I always viewed it was like in Big Brother, there's always going to be someone who's on the outs, and you just have to make sure that you're not their least favorite person. Like while Cam was always the target, I would have put up Cam a lot of times. I always made sure I wasn't Cam's biggest op until like the final 10 when I was his biggest op. But I don't think that's my fault. They're so dramatic with the edit. Giving Andy a good edit. Definitely mastermind edit this episode, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'm surprised he could see anything. I'm also a Rachel person myself. All right, Genevieve, what do we got? So good from Genevieve. It's such an easy thing to do in theory. In practice, it's a lot harder, scooping up the person on the bottom, or whoever you perceive to be on the bottom. Genevieve is so smart. I'm rooting for her hard. She's an excellent confessional deliverer. He talks in such an enigmatic way. It's so hard to like take Andy seriously. What's up, Riker? You know what I would give for Mimi to have given a DR being like, that's the thing, Cory, no one would suspect us as a duo. Both of us need some. It's fucked up. All right. So we move on to Donnie, who, in my opinion, is the epitome of the perfect AFP. Literally the perfect AFP. It was a season where it was just run by a dominant alliance that wasn't that popular. It was kind of boring. And Donnie was the force against that, and he fell short due to really not much of a fault of his own. And this was the way for the public to reward him. Also, a very pure, likable, unproblematic, awesome person. I think Donnie is the best AFP we've ever gotten. And I am surprised he never got a call back because he's a player too. He knew the game. He was, well, he's not a big schemer, but he was playing. Perfect choice for AFP, Donnie. James Hewling from BB17. I think he's probably like I think he's like here. Yeah, put Jeff down here. Honestly, I think he's here. Like my problem with James, and he's a bit of a weirdo after the show with all the Natalie stalking stuff. But let's self-contained to BB18 or 17. He felt very forced as an AFP. Like he was trying for it, and all the pranks and the things and the gimmicks and it didn't feel super organic. And personally, I didn't find it super funny. So I think a lot of it was also very surface level of like, oh, he sounds funny. So I think C's fair. Victor, I think Victor's A. I think he was a good AFP. It was a season with, I think, a decent amount of contenders for AFP. I mean, it was kind of Paul or Victor, but I think Victor was just a fun presence, coming back twice on battlebacks. Just exciting stuff. Very funny, too. Played really hard. Had a lot of, like, big speech moments and clutch comp wins and super memorable to the season. I don't think he's anything super, super special, but I think he's a good AFP. Also, I think it was one where he wasn't expecting to win AFP. I don't think it was a very clear winner, so it was a fun one. I will say, like, if he was just booted second or third, whatever it was, he's one of the least memorable players ever. But because he got so many chances, the him and Paul dynamic was very fun. Cody's the worst AFP I think we've ever gotten. I don't think it's particularly close. It was an anti-Paul vote. I just wish the anti-Paul vote went to someone better. And I will say, like, I think Cody's presence on the TV show was fun. Like, I know why he won. I could tell why he won. If I just watched the TV show, maybe I would have voted for him. But he's just like, he was very dry and sarcastic and anti-Paul, and that was it. So, I get why he won, but he's like transphobic, racist, homophobic, terrible. Anyways, back to Survivor. The drama between you and Tubina on the TL. There's no drama. We're rooting for them, their success. They seem great. What do you mean? You haven't seen the tweets. Crystal, you're part of the problem. Just mute and move on. There's no beef at all. Girls Alliance. Uh-oh. Teeny said lexicon. Oh my god, why is Suri in everything I watch? I'm at the Wild Robot and I see Suri's face. I get so worried about the All Women's Alliance every time because someone's going to break it and then there's going to be dumbasses talking about them. Tiana's not really had much of an edit, right? My timeline's been so clean. I mean, mine's been free of Big Brother drama, but it's been full of like neo-Nazism and death. But I think that's just the Elon Musk experience. Mine is full of Luke. And there's no shade towards anyone, but I do. Okay, there's a little bit of shade. Derek F. talking about his in-depth experience with the fish tank casting team is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It killed me that he was in like deep negotiations with them. It's like, come on. He loves inserting himself to the conversation. I don't think it's that. I think it's just like, damn, how do you... I feel like I would think it was like a scammer if I was getting reached out to by them. But also I do love, and Quinn tweeted something like this that cracked me up, like everyone being like, hey, bring no attention to fish tank. And I'm guilty of this too. It was on stream a couple days ago showing it because I thought it was funny. But everyone being like, guys, don't bring it any attention, then tweeting about it or putting it up on stream or like like it's just it's not a big deal. It's fine. They're insane. Everyone knows they're insane. You know. They're never going to be bigger than what they are now. Like, is this already immunity? This feels pretty early, no? Must be an insane tribal. Yeah. I guess there's two tribals, right? Wins for their group immunity. I hate when they do shit like this. Not casting a vote's interesting, okay. So this situation means it's only going to be 5 eligible to be voted out. Yeah, okay, it's one of these. All right. Good luck. Or 7 of the 12 are going to be immune. is going to get dicey. I mean, this is one of those things where like Sam could just be on the winning team, and that's how he gets bailed out here. I will say though, like at this stage of the game, there's four other options other than yourself. Like a good player should be able to figure it out, be able to protect themselves. You know, Turner. Who is this guy? Turner, are you going on Fish Tank Live? They told me they reached out to you, but you're still deciding, right? Oh my god. I swear, there's gonna come out an article yesterday of like Mr. Beast is hiding elderly people in his basement. His kill count is 30, and Turner's gonna have like the crying laughing emoji as a quote tweet. Congrats, Turner, of course. Mr. Belmonte, that's right. Mr. Beast murdered outside local Dunkin' Donuts, and it's gonna be Turner quote tweeting "Limfow, each ball." I like that I'm a Bud's Turner now because I have a vested interest in the drama. That's tough for Rachel. Are you going on Fish Tank? Stay tuned, is all I'll say. All I'll say is after Derek F said no, they had to get someone else. That's all I'll say. My contract. Sorry. I can't say anything more than that. Y'all, I had the funniest tweet. I think I said it, right? The Luke has the opportunity to do the funniest thing. And America said you can't do it. You can't tweet it. And I'm like, damn. If America's the one saying I can't tweet it, I really can't tweet it. I don't think Fish Tank likes Jewish people. Who does? Honestly. I swear, like, I'm a big Cara Maria fan because I'm a casual, but the more I dive into all her conspiracies, I'm like, they're all anti-Semitic. Every one of them. Like, that's the thing about a conspiracy theory. Like, they start off very funny, and it's like, oh my god, this corporation controls the weather. And then you kind of peel back the layers, and that corporation is actually made of all Jews, you know? Let's keep going, though. We gotta keep moving. Big D was asked to go to Famous House to get duped. We were asked to do it, too, to be an untouchable. That's true. That's true. It's an important distinction, I think. Turner, come to Nashville. Come on. We have an extra room now. Fits two. Tyler Crispin. Y'all are haters. Y'all are haters. That's all I'll say. Look, after the most heartbreaking loss in the final two I've ever seen, I'm glad he got his 50K. I'm glad he got his 50K. He deserved it. He's the... look, say what you will about whether you like Tyler or not. He's the person who made that season one of the best seasons ever. Like, by himself. Flipping votes, left, right, and center, blindsiding people. Like, he was the reason that season was good. Nicole Anthony. I think Nicole Anthony is very much, and no shade, she seems like a very nice person. She is on fire as well. I think she's kind of like a win by default. Like, who else was supposed to get it that season? And she was just the underdog. But I think that's accurate. Tanked her likability in 22. Yeah, but that didn't happen yet. Davon. I think Davon's A. I think Davon should have won on BB18. Like BB22, I mean, there was no one to win it on BB22. I just don't think she was like fun enough on that season. She didn't really have the opportunity. I'd give it if she was on 18. I'd probably give her S. Um, Tiffany, I think would be like it's your mileage varies on Tiffany, right? It's like B or C. I think like she was again the best player of the season, so I'm glad she got rewarded with money. But I think this is just where I stand on it. Tiff was A at the time. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think this is fair. I feel happy enough with this. Taylor's S. I think her winning AFP and winner was a good exclamation mark on the season. Um, I don't think there's much debate there. Like, she had to win that. It was just the right ending. For as much criticism people have about that season, her winning and winning AFP was like the nice redemption for everybody. Cam is D. I'd put him here. I think he's here. Maybe like here. Not much to say. I mean, just he played for AFP, got the edit. Not a fan. And then Tucker, I think, is probably here. Just being pre-jury sucks. If he got a little further, I'd get it, but it was just kind of lame. I don't know. It just wasn't for me, but I think he genuinely added to the season a lot, so I don't think he could be in C. Survivor's on. Okay. But beep beep. Don't sue me, Paramount. This is a tricky challenge. I would not be good at this. I'm really bad at muscle endurance. I love when you guys try to censor out Cam's name. It's C asterisk M, so it looks like cum, and then they censor it in my chat. This challenge seems really hard. I'm really bad at like I can like lift a decent amount of weight for my body size. Like I could do that, but like when it comes to holding, which is like most of these endurance comps, I have really bad muscle endurance. Really, really bad. You're good. Damn it, Andy. Jesus. So many forms of the same challenges. I don't hate it because it feels like different people win them a lot. I think they're fun-ish to watch too. It's just cheap for them too, I guess, right? Yeah, I mean, Gabe's already almost in the next section. Makes it a lot easier. I guess resting it on your head makes it a lot easier. That makes it a lot easier, actually. Because then you're almost just balancing it. I think I could be okay at this, actually. I don't have the shakiest hands. I wouldn't win, but I could do okay. I mean, me on BB25. Fourth place, sixth place, every time. Middle of the pack. Devin on the challenge said that once. I'm a middle of the pack guy. I'm a middle of the pack guy. I'm never last. Unless it's premiere night. But I was wearing jeans. It's different. No, I think they're all just doing it, so I observed it. Kyle might be good at these things. Damn, Sue. Sam wins Sierra boot. I would be shocked with a Sierra boot. That does not feel likely. She'd be like the one I pencil into the finale. Oh, Sam's cooked. Kyle seems solid. Gabe seems solid too. Genevieve might be that like Kim Spradlin, Amanda Kimmel type who's just built for these challenges. Damn, Kyle's got that shit sideways. There he goes. Kyle's the last guy on the team. That's crazy. There goes Sam. Uh-oh. Oh, fuck. Dramatic ending. Oh, Kyle's out. Well, I guess in that spot, Kyle knows he's safe, right? So there's not as much of a motivation to like keep fighting. That's interesting. I like that dynamic of how the challenge works. Oh, I think Saul's cooked. Oh no, Saul's there. Saul's good. Saul's chilling. This might be Tiana boot. I think it's a Tiana boot. It's a good week for Sam to have immunity, for sure. What's up, chilling? How you doing? It's giving Tiana boot to me. Tiana and Gabe seem to be the people in danger. Who has idols at this point? Does Sam have an idol? Rachel with tonight's edit, it's possible. He has an expired idol, gotcha. Just Sue? Okay. So Sue has an idol. Does that mean there's an idol planted? Someone's never watched Survivor. What season should I start with? I think season 28 is like a good, somewhat modern season. If you want to just watch like a classic, season 7. I think 28 and 7 would be the two I'd recommend. You could also watch like 33, 37. I would say 28 is probably just the best, though. But I'd recommend 28. All right. Now it's time for me to do my AFPs from each season. All right. So season 7, I think I would have voted for Dr. Will. Season 9, I would have voted Crazy James. Hey, can't blame me. I was 10. Season 10, I would have voted Dan. Season 11, I would have voted. I don't fucking know. Michelle? Like, I don't know. The fuck would I have what? Season 11? Kevin, maybe? I don't know. I would have abstained season 11. Russell was funny. From season 12, Brittany. Season 13, Shelly kind of sucks now. I think I'd go Kalia or Danielle from season 13. Season 14 would have been Dan. Season 15, yikes. I guess I think Helen for me for season 15. Helen. Howard would be a good vote too, but I think Helen. 16, I think Donnie is good. 17, Johnny Mac would have been my vote. 18, I think it would have been probably Victor. At this point, I'm actually voting. 18, I think I voted Victor. 19, I think I voted Kevin on 19. Kevin Schluber. On 20, I voted Tyler for sure. On 21, I think I voted Cliff, I think, on 21, which I think is a fine vote. I think I voted Cliff. I don't know. It was a long time ago. 22, I think I did vote Devon. There's really no other option. 23, 24, I didn't vote. 25, well, I think the right answer for 23, though, probably is Derek X. And then for 24, the right answer is Taylor. 25, I think America. And then 26, Quinn. I did meet Kevin. I talked to Kevin probably more than anybody. I love Kevin Schluber. He's so tall and handsome. So tall. It's like 6'4". Or maybe I'm really short. But Kevin was awesome. He brought a blazer. He made me eat pizza. He's like, yo, Cory, I bought 2 pizzas. You need to help me. Okay. Choosing America for AFP over yourself. That's true love. Yeah, I think if America won AFP, we'd have a much bigger apartment. If I won AFP, I would be like very savvy. I'm a money saver. What costume do you guys decide on? I would get murdered if I shared that at this point. But there's like 3 costumes at this point, I think. Okay, is this just me? I hate eating messy food. Like sauced up chicken wings that you get messy with or ribs. It's just not for me. When y'all dressing up just tomorrow? I actually don't know. I'm just following orders. That's all I'm doing. Another bad Cory take. Hey. Bad sensory experience. Same, exactly. Will you do an Insta post for them? I got a post on my Instagram. It's getting a little bit sad. A wee bit sad, I'll admit. This is one of those spots where, like, if Rachel gets eliminated, it's very, like, shit, what are we supposed to do? Really, it's going to come down to, is this women's alliance a semi-real thing? One beer would smash me after weeks of little food. I mean, Jared was in the Big Brother house, so he wasn't super low on food, had 5 beers and passed out, basically. Oh, who sees it? Who sees it? Andy sees it? No way. Who sees it? Come on, Sam. Open your eyes, Sam. Oh, no one find it? Come on, y'all. You're all super fans. You're not checking the fucking... Come on. It's good to reach out. I like the way bringing it up. Sam thought the buoy was just a normal thing, so I don't know. Is the Sue and Gabe thing real? It's such a bad idea from Gabe. It's such a bad idea because it's like you're basically saying like, okay, no one else is gonna have the idea of betraying someone else. My guess is Tiana goes still. Oh god, what's Tiana cooking? She's cooking some shit up. Oh boy. Can't believe there's 45 more minutes. There's a lot. I mean, some shit has to happen. Playing the Women's Alliance card. I love it. I love it because I think like the Women's Alliance stuff always turns into like a crazy prisoner's dilemma. It always is like, who's going to be the one to ruin it? New All Star season coming for Big Brother? I don't. I don't think they should. I don't think All Star seasons work as well in the modern era. I think everyone's too connected. I think everybody's too connected, and it just is always going to be like, even if it's not explicit pre-gaming, the nature of these relationships result in pre-gaming. I think, yeah, I think they only did it in 22 because of COVID. So I think they should wait until 30. I think at least, yeah. I feel like Kyle wanting Gabe out's a big misplay on the surface level. That's the way I view it. Wasn't it a new casting team too this year? I don't think so. As far as I know, there's a lot of overlap. As far as I understand. All right. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on in the Reddit. Should they retire the closest without going over rule? No. There's no reason why. Why not? It's fine. Easier to calculate for Julie in real time. I don't have a problem with it. We just talked about this. I've seen people say before that once Yvette won the final HOH, she had no way to win. I know that the friendship has said that if they cut one another, they wouldn't vote for the person who cut them. My question would be, would they have really voted for Janelle? I think they would have. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if Janelle can win Big Brother 6. They were really bitter. Should split the house into teams at the beginning. Cash is split into 3 random teams in an attempt to gain from that position before emerging. I think it's a stupid idea, but I get the premise if you're just trying to fight against pre-gaming. But I think there is no fighting against it. I think you just have to deal with it. I think it is what it is. I think what you have to do is like build a season cognizant of the outside relationships. Like if you cast, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like if you cast a lot of people who are very clearly connected, right? So you cast like, let's get Jag involved, let's get Cedric involved, let's get Riley involved. You know, like if you cast like a group of people, you have to have other people who are connected to other people as well. So maybe that's where you get Josh and Casey and Tyler and people. Like you can't do the all the people Cody knows and then throw in Keisha to fend for herself. Like you need to have like people with, you know, comparable relationships. Gives an edge to the people who are well prepared. But why would you get an edge for that? You think you should get an edge for pre-gaming? Isn't it the opposite? Like the game doesn't start now. The game starts on day 1. Like basically I guess you're advocating for the game should never end. I think something that would be interesting is what if they announced the cast like a month before they got sequestered, and then there was a real game happening. That would be interesting. I think it'd be stupid, but it'd be a fun experiment at least. With equitable comps, people like Janelle, Case, or Keisha would have had a chance. A very slim chance. But more of a chance, sure. This is in reference to the Price is Right. Oh, I got you. I don't really care for BB6. I mean, it was Big Brother, but I had a hard time watching it. BB6 is not one of my favorite seasons. Yeah, BB6 is not in my top 5 at all. My top 5 is like 10, 7, 14, 20, and probably 3 or 17. BB6 doesn't do it for me. It's a good season, though. Just not that much crazy gameplay going on. A lot of drama. It feels more like a challenge season. Most seasons are not fun to binge. Absolutely true. That's not a hot take at all. BB9's underrated. Eh. Dr. Will's an overrated winner. I feel like this is becoming the conventional opinion. That's why half of my audience hates me now. I really like Frankie. Yeah, I think Frankie gets a little bit more hate than he should. I think he's fine. I love Rachel O'Reilly. Do people really dislike Rachel after 13? I know after 12, it was a lot of negativity towards Rachel, but after 13, people were still anti. Everyone loves Rachel now. I feel like that's, yeah, I feel like that's right. I didn't like her back then at all, or Brendan. I found her very easy to root for on BB13. She wasn't my favorite. I was rooting for Danielle and Kalia, but I still did find her quite fun. Quite fun. She's a good character. Oh, absolutely. And it's an authentic character, too. She's not really playing it up. I wonder how bad your stomach ache is after eating like this, after not eating forever. Who's going to find it? Andy's the one finding it? Oh, good for Andy. Good for him, always searching. Even if you're going to get caught. Glad he's looking at least. It's right by Saul. Saul, that's. God, this is one of those things like watching it back must kill you. He's finding it. They got him. All right, he got it. All right, and he has immunity, which is so nice because you can now look for it in peace. Straight in the underwear. He's jumped to my number one spot tonight. In your faves or like winner predictions? All right, let's see what he's got. I think it's a disastrous decision to get rid of Gabe for basically everyone on this tribe. Having a group like I just feel like it's gonna be Sam and Sierra and Andy and you know what I mean. It's how it feels to me. Gabe's been targeting Tiana though. Yeah, no, it probably is good for Tiana. I guess I question it most from Kyle. I mean, I think Caroline is low key right though. I think she's right generally, and they're all trying to navigate this Girls Alliance thing. Like, there's no moral prerogative for any of them to keep it strong. Could Saul find an advantage and give it to Rachel? Is that possible? Meanwhile, half of them are cannibalizing you. Nice, Rachel. Nice, Rachel. Does it ever work? Like, does the majority tribe ever just stay true? Reba, Julie, D. I mean, granted, they cannibalize themselves with the final six, but they usually get very far, these majority groups. You put yourself in the winning position. Tika, yeah. Yeah, I'm pulling for Rachel here. I hope she makes it. There goes Saul. I like him doing the I have to shit walk. I think it's very convincing. It's making me have, you know what I mean? I buy it. I think this is a smart way of playing it. tonight's tribal. That kind of sucks because he's not eligible. That's kind of a bummer for Saul, but oh shit. Safety without power for Rachel is nuts. I think it's a terrible twist though. This is a bummer for whoever gets eliminated tonight. If they send it to Rachel and Rachel just dips and someone goes, it's like, damn, Rachel didn't do anything to do this. Granted, she got swap screwed and this saves her. It's just like, I hate when twists come out of nowhere. You know, like it's not even like you could have stuck with Rachel all week or all day and like, you know. Well, I think very clearly, who the fuck would use a vote block instead of safety without power? You know what I mean? Safety without power during the round where the final person doesn't make the jury. Are you kidding me? I think Tiana is going to get voted out here. I don't know exactly how yet. I think it's going to be like Caroline, Kyle. Here's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be Caroline, Gabe. Because then it's going to be Tiana and Kyle. The swing is Sue. I think it's going to be Sue, Caroline, and Gabe voting out Tiana. That's my guess. You think Caroline's flipping on Gabe? Sue is safe. Sue is 100% safe. It's my prediction. The edit's setting up a Tiana surprise exit. I think so. I just think it's like it's always a red flag for me when someone who I mean the challenge does this shamelessly. Someone who has no screen time has a lot of confessionals before the first commercial, you know. Caroline and Gabe turn on Tiana, but who's the final vote? Sue, right? Sue, Caroline, Gabe. Yeah, I think that's almost assuredly what happens. Which sucks for Tiana because it's such a. I mean, I think she definitely misplayed this, but like, she would have totally gotten away with it under normal circumstances. I just don't care for Sue at all. Yeah, she's. I think she's fun to talk about. So Tiana as the one to bring up the plan puts a target on her. I think it gets to this point in the game where everyone feels like they got to make their impact. It happened last season with like Soda and Tevin, and it's like y'all just chill. Charlie was the king of waiting so long to make his moves, and he lost, but I think it was a pretty good game, you know. Big Brother's different. Big Brother, I think you have to make your move when you have your chance because you don't know how comps are going to work out. Survivor, it's like you know who's going to be there. You know when you have to make the move. I did not see that, Katie. Anyone watch Georgie and Mandy's first marriage? Oh, we got beef in the chat. This is what I live for. Do 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 do. Here we go. cool sitting in the jury spot as a player. So, does Saul, has he already given the power to somebody, or does he give it to them now? How does that work? Thoughts on Roman Jeff's seat last week? I mean, they were setting him up for sure. People having a tantrum online about it are stupid, though. Like, who cares? It's fine. But it was like quintessential Rome. Like, it was a funny bit, and then it just kept going. you know? You watch The Penguin? I have not. I've heard good things, though. Don't they have Pierre Chang from Lost? I don't know what the actor's name is. Thank you, Anonymous, for gifting Blissey. I appreciate the gift. Before the vote, okay. Pierre Chang, Miles' dad, the announcer for the Dharma Initiative. Why does the jury lighting look insane? I'm gonna have to look out for it. Caroline kind of looks like a shorter Laurel. Anyone see it? There's so much time left in this episode. The idol necklace, I think it's cool. I like it too. Put our pickle on blast. What is Tiana talking about? She's so gone. She actually reminds me of Laurel in a lot of ways, the way she talks. The Midwest kind of thing. Stalling big time till the twist outcome. Yeah. God, the relief she must have had when she got the power. Oh my God. What's the deal with Saul and Rachel? What's their relationship? Is there anything there really? Again, I've been kind of I've been a hardcore casual this season.
I love it though. Like he makes everything fun for her. Like Chuck would not grab her and like start
Don't think
singing
they've
songs.
interacted. Okay. It's just a very obvious play to give it to Rachel, you know? Separate tribes. Yeah, I knew that, but I didn't know if there was anything last episode. We were watching it at the Bryce and Wen like bar. It was very hard to. I like the purple buffs. They're cool. Caroline and Teeny are the only non-Gata. Gotcha. Like Saul might have told others. I mean, there's no reason to tell anyone else because it just shows that you were like looking for an advantage. Thank you, Anonymous, again. I appreciate you.
I think he was. Was he? I think he was saying figuratively, like, excuse my language, like.
He has to hand it to her, then who knows? Yeah.
Oh, is it French pop?
My entire life, anxiously hopeful. You guys like this?
Oh, she do this.
What is Gabe talking about?
Sure, wishing Yvonne is from a happy birthday. No one's sweeter than you. Yvonne, happy birthday from her. Days before the election, they know what they're doing. She's probably paid for that post.
Nice. I hate this. This is such bullshit. I hate this. This is so fucky. I think Tiana's done.
It's just like Yvonne was a guy, and like he's translating, like he's leading the way in
Kind of
like
helps Saul. He has some plausible deniability.
like culture and expression. Happy birthday.
The what?
Oh, what about Mary? Wait, what do you mean they didn't do marriage? So wait, so now they're
Saul's doing great.
ceremony.
It's very funny. All right, there goes Rachel. That's such a relief. Like, imagine that. You're like, my survivor journeys, my dream's done, and then
Got it.
you just open your bag and there's something there.
Yeah, this is for you guys to get closer. Like, yeah, a bonding ceremony. Like,
Well, now it's got to be a live tribal, right? I guess Jeff has to do another whole discussion. All right. Well, that was something. It's whoever gets voted out here. That sucks. That's rough. But that's how it goes. Survivor. I know what it's like to get some bad twists. You know. Interesting question. Who's the best Big Brother player throughout the world? Tim Dormer has to be up there. He's played three different styles. Won the first time, third because he said, no, I'm good, then got sixth. Okay. I think it's totally different formats, though. Kevin Jacobs, pretty top notch. It's just hard. There's so few people who have, like, multiple games. Sebastian, who played Loft Story, which is Big Brother Quebec in 2000s, was a two-time winner. He was a mix of Derek mixed with Johnny Fairplay. He came in a controversial second his first season due to a completely miscalculated vote. What? Came back to win All Stars 2 seasons later. What he did was nothing short of spectacular. Combination of in-house nominations and comps and public voting, which is far more difficult to play since it's two audience you need to contend with. It's just a whole different skill set. You know what I mean? It just has such a different skill set when you have to play it to the audience. I think ultimately it's hard to come up with an answer that's not Dan Giesling. You know what I mean? Like he's played twice, and like, I think an interesting ranking to do that people haven't done as often is like ranking the 10 best games, 20 best games ever played. And I think Dan is probably the only person with two in the top 10. I'm pretty sure that's like almost certainly true. Dan's BB10 and BB14 game are probably somewhere between 6 and 10. Dan's legacy was tarnished on Traitors. I think it's the stupidest perspective of all time. No offense. Legitimately the stupidest perspective ever. Traitors is a farce of a game. Traitors should have no bearing on anyone. If you want to reward someone for doing awesome on Traitors, I'm fine with that. Penalizing someone for doing poorly is so stupid. Like ultimately, like Suri, I don't think it really helps her legacy that much. She just proved to be who we already knew she was, which is a master manipulator, social player. Um, but yeah, but I think Dan has two top 10 games. Cody, his second game is like a top, you know, he has a really top, like easily top five game, and then his other one is like top 100. Like it was really good. Like maybe top 50, top 60. Um, Dr. Will probably has like two top 25 games. You know what I mean? Like Big Brother 7 and 2. Big Brother 7's probably like it's hard. There's a lot of good players, you know. But Dan has two, in my opinion, like definitively top 10 games. Cody and Dan were bad at traders, great at BB. I think it's hard when you're a trader against Suri. It's kind of a tough spot. And then Dan is, you know, he was in a tough spot too. Cody's 16 game is bad. I think that's insane to say. I think Cody was definitively the second or third best player of that season. Probably the third best because he was always planning on taking Derek to the end. But he was just a good, likable social player who won a ton of comps. Dan's BB14 game severely overstated. Tons of advantages for him, but his 10 game is elite. I think he had a lot of advantages for him, but also a lot of things did not go his way. He lost one of his lifelines super early. And he also just did a really good job of making something out of nothing. And also, I think ultimately the jury situation was so out of his hands from my perspective that, like, he had a ton of stuff going for him, but he had some stuff going against him too. I think it's hard to just not be impressed by what he pulled off. given an immediate ride or die in Danny. That's not an immediate ride or die. That's bullshit. What do you mean? They didn't know each other before. What are you talking about? Like every other coach got to have their people. All their he made a good judgment call at the start of the game. Like, what do you mean? I think it's Tiana. This felt like a Tiana boot episode from the jump. No one's saying he purposefully tanked his team. That's not. Dan said it. I'm telling you. Dan did not purpose. He lost Jody night one, and then Carr was targeted the second. Like, no, that's ridiculous. Trust what you watch, not What? All the coaches knew they would join the game later. Everyone knew that wasn't a secret. That's a whole different thing. Like, yeah, of course everyone knew that. So you're trying to position yourself for the end game every time, or position yourself for the individual game. But like, I don't blame him for that. I think the only thing you can do is like criticize Dan for, putting himself in that bad spot. Also, I think that is a way of after the fact being able to, like I think all the coaches going in thought it would become individual. Giesling, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Like everyone knew that was going to happen. Like, of course, like they all knew they were going to enter the game individually. If you're saying Dan prepared for it and played it well, then give him credit. Boogie didn't. That's shocking self-awareness from Boogie, because everyone, I mean, it seemed abundantly clear. Like, what do you mean you were going to have the final 6 people with 3 coaches, none of which could win? Like, come on. God, Gabe talks in such a strong-ass way. Like, oh, it's all Caroline? I think Tiana's gone. I'll stick with it. It's been my prediction the whole time, but we'll see. Them saying us 3 don't break no matter what seems like a bit of a red herring. You would think if Sue was winning, she'd have a bit more of an edit on this episode, right? She's one of 5 voters. Like, The misspelling is so funny. I mean, it would be a huge red flag if someone went and, you know, asked me how to spell my name. Like, why do you need to know? It's like, how do you spell your name, Cory? I'm like, Cameron. All right. No one's got shit. So there's truly like no idols in the game right now. It's just Sue. Good for Sue not even having to consider playing it either. Tiana. This is probably going to be pretty telling. I think it's going to be 4-1, not 3-2. That's 2. Yep, alright, there you go. Yeah, I nailed this one. I was on top of this vote. Damn, she's pissed. Why is she shocked when she sat most of the tribal? Okay, well, I mean, that's edited. Who knows how long. It's just brutal. Like, that twist is so fucky. Like, I don't know. There's not much to say about that twist. Like, Tiana, I think, misplayed a lot of this, but she would have been 1,000,000,000% fine otherwise. It's better for Kyle, for sure. No, Kyle voted for Tiana. 100%. I'm sure what happened is after Kyle went to Caroline saying we should vote out Gabe, Caroline's like, nah, I'm voting Tiana. And then Kyle got in line. That was a bad twist. It's rough for Tiana, but I'm glad Rachel's still there. I think Rachel adds more to the show. I think she's been a great character so far. I think Sue and Kyle were sticking with Gabe no matter what. I don't know. Like, why the fuck would Kyle be saying that to Caroline though? They can't like invent words. But anyways, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go watch probably the challenge with America and Jacob. Maybe watch Bachelorette later tonight. But I appreciate you guys as always. Is anybody streaming right now? Is Cedric live? I wanted to rate him last time. America's going live for The Bachelor. Okay, so if Cedric's not live, I'll Brando's live. All right, I'll raid Brando, but to y'all who want to go to you know, America, please do. All right, have fun, y'all. Bye bye. Bye bye. See